received in a fashion that was not acceptable. And Glenn also gives his vote also. So basically I have in writing approvals of all the 3 members and also a picture of the trellis itself. And so again, it's going to be against the wall, so once flowers grow on it, I don't think it's even going to be visible.
And we'll go to your next one, and then we'll
Okay,
take
sure.
each one individually.
Okay, yeah. I only have 2 more. The other is, let's see, this is, let me get to this first. No, this is the last one, I'm sorry. This is with regards to 23354 Old Meadowbrook Circle. They want to resurface the drive and walkway with a stone-like surface in a light gray stone color to match the house paint. They've even given us samples of the colors themselves. So it's a non-slip surface, and obviously something that looks fairly easy to live with. The only problem that I see with this, and it's somewhat of a conflict of interest or conflict of declaration rules, because the fact that if they want to go across the sidewalk to the apron, as they call it, the area that widens out to the road, they'd be crossing over the common area. So it's kind of a little bit of a gray area there, because obviously it would look much better if it went right out to that gutter, that rain gutter. But on the other hand, we are going across the common element of the sidewalk. Now, I don't know which way to approach this, whether or not we need...
Then we'd have to have everybody in there take out their driveways, because every driveway goes up for the sidewalk.
Across that, right. So I think, you know, maybe, you know, a comment from our lawyer stating that, you know, this is something that, that can be easily validated, or in another way, there can be an exception made to this because of the reason that we want to keep some continuity from going from the driveway door to the street itself. But again, we are in that gray area where, you know, we're crossing the sidewalk.
The only question
Yes.
I have, if you're coming from a smooth surface to a rough surface.
Correct.
That's the only, and if you're walking at night, it could be a detriment.
Is that going to be a
Right.
problem?
Now, I'm looking at this, Ernie, and all he says is to resurface the drive and the walkway with a stone-like surface. So it sounds like he wants to do the entire
Plus the
area.
walkway going to the house.
Exactly.
Walkway, that's-
Well, he didn't mention anything about the house.
Walkway, that's probably what he's meaning.
I would guess
think
so. Right. I'm looking to see if there's any further mention of that. Nationwide Pool is who will be doing the area. Let me see. Modify existing landscape plan. No, he doesn't go into description as far as where the walkway is, but I would imagine that it would be to the house. So, you know, again, the only problem is the fact that it is crossing that common area, but, you know, can that be worked around? You know, can the lawyer come up with some type of an exception and validify that, so that it does meet our declarations and bylaws.
It's still an aperture to your property.
So it's going...
Well, that can meet that particular, that might meet that particular definition. You're right.
Is it does their plan want to go all the way down to the street, to the gutter? Or, I mean, or is it...
Is that what they asked to do?
And they also have to have a $1,000 check. So
No, and
basically,
again, we're missing that. No, I'm looking at this right now. He's got the colors, Caribbean
Mr.
cream.
Burgett and Mr. Russo would have to have, so you might want to make it
Do they have to
notation.
have insurance?
I don't think they're ripping anything out, they're just covering.
Are they just covering
I don't
that?
think they're gonna rip out.
Okay, I'm looking at every paper in this folder that Doug left me the other day. I don't see anything about $1,000 check.
I don't think they're gonna do any rip-outs.
Oh, okay.
I don't think
Are
so.
Okay.
they-
You
So you
think there'd be a
wouldn't need
rip-out with that?
Well, we better find
No,
out.
it doesn't say
I
anything
don't
about
think so.
that.
I don't
Just
think so.
resurfacing?
My concern
Just
is the
resurfacing.
roughness.
Just resurfacing, that's
Right.
the same thing. I'm
Yeah,
putting in a rock.
the first word that
Yeah,
leads in the
resurface.
description of the request is resurface. So it doesn't sound like they're removing anything.
Don't need anything more.
It just sounds like they're going to be putting a light layer over the existing drive and walkway.
Then they wouldn't require heavy equipment.
$1,000, which shouldn't go,
My
absolutely
concern
not.
is the roughness when you're coming, walking at night especially.
How's it
On a
different
smooth
than a-
sidewalk to something rough,
How's it different from a
especially in
paver?
older folk.
How is it different from a paver driveway though? That's changes the concrete when you walk across the pavers.
But it's level.
It's
It's
flush.
not rough, that you step and you don't stick.
It's flush with the sidewalk.
If you step on that and you catch yourself, you could,
Right.
it stops you like if you're sliding.
Right.
That's
It
what
has to
I-
be blended in, Ernie, so that there is a transition, so there is no, problem with
Because,
stepping
you can
onto
be
it.
walking at night
Right.
especially.
Can that be flush with the rest of the sidewalks?
It's gotta stick up a
It can be
little.
transitioned, I mean, if it's this thin, it
Pretty
certainly
thin.
can be.
Yeah.
It has to be, or else they won't be able to do it, because
Right.
we had to have
You can't
someone,
raise it.
someone did do that, and it raised the,
Yeah, but.
Exactly.
and
does
they
it
tripped,
grind down the
and
sidewalk?
we had to make them fix it. So.
Exactly.
Is it painted
Yes.
on or sprayed on or?
That actually looks like, let me see now if you mentioned. this
Actually,
way that
it's not
put on.
even a smooth surface, it's a rough surface, so I don't see
Resurface
where
driveway
you
with
have to worry about anybody falling
stone-like
on
surface
something.
and
When you're
light
coming
gray
from
stone
a
post
switch,
match.
the first-
He doesn't say, that's a very good question too, because they have these now guns, these pressurized guns that could put on a fairly thick layer of concrete. So it could be sprayed on or troweled on, and then, the surface texture being given with another tool.
So I wonder if they're gonna have to sand their driveway down.
Oh, for
Yeah, they
adhesion
do.
purposes,
Yeah, they do.
absolutely.
Room for it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there has to be some prep work done because, you need to have that surface adhere to it. So whether they use a muriatic acid or whether they grind something down, now if they grind something down, that's where they're gonna need the $1,000 check.
Yeah.
Well, I understand where Ernie's coming from, because of that surface, like I say, if you were just walking on it yourself, you're not, it's rough. But if all of a sudden you're coming from
From a
the
smooth
side,
surface.
right, and then you got somebody that trips on that.
That's right.
Because all of a sudden it jolts you at a quick stop.
Exactly.
I think if it's flush with the sidewalk, I don't think
Exactly.
it would be the
I
same.
think so.
Well, whether it's flush or not, or what Ernie's saying is the fact that, it's a different surface.
Right.
You're going from a smooth to a very coarse surface.
Very coarse.
So, obviously it could take someone unawares and, could present a problem.
I don't know.
So, there was only two matters that I had questions about. One was the color of the driveway door, and the other was this. Not so much for the surface area, but because of the fact that we're treading that gray area there, which we may find somewhere in the bylaws or declarations that it's acceptable, to go up to that apron that widens out to the street or the gutter. Actually, it's going to meet the gutter first. So there could be an exception to that rule, and but that's one portion of it. The other, of course, is it too rough of a surface? Because I know that a lot of surfaces around are mostly pavers or concrete. This does seem, almost like a pool-like
I
surface.
haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah. Not except around a pool where, you want a non-skid surface. But, at least he did provide examples, which obviously is very helpful because, you have it in hand.
We should table that too.
So you might want to table that. And as far as the color of the garage door, that was the only other issue. The other two, the trellis and the concrete work to expand upon the caged-in area, that was for,
We need a
I'm
check
sorry,
on
that was
that
for
one.
Berget.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You need to check for that one.
yeah,
Definitely.
okay.